Members, I welcome to the floor of the House today the Ambassador for Afghanistan, His Excellency Wahidullah Waissi. On behalf of the House, I extend a warm welcome to you. The Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I seek indulgence to make a statement on yesterday's shocking attack in central Kabul. Mr. Speaker, this latest attack follows a fortnight where we have seen the evil scourge of Islamist terrorism continue to exact its murderous campaign against civilians around the world. From the bombing of the arena in Manchester and the slaughter of innocent children, to a suicide attack in Jakarta, the ISIL insurgency in the southern Philippines, to the slaughter of Coptic Christians in Egypt, we continue to see these indiscriminate, brutal attacks committed by these terrorists. Mr. Speaker, according to the latest information provided by the Afghan authorities, the death toll stands currently at 89 and may rise further. At least 350 more people were injured in the blast. Almost all of those affected were civilians, many of whom women and children. This shocking attack comes in the holy month of Ramadan. I know that all Australians condemn the actions of those responsible. I've written today to President Ghani to express our deepest sympathies and to restate Australia's resolve to assist and support Afghanistan in its fight against Islamist terrorism. I acknowledge also, as you have, Mr. Speaker, the presence in the House of the Ambassador of Afghanistan, His Excellency Mr. Wahidullah Waissi. Your Excellency, we extend our condolences through you to the people of Afghanistan and in particular to those directly affected and their loved ones. Mr. Speaker, yesterday's attack took place on Wazir Akbar Khan Road, less than a kilometre from the Australian Embassy. This is an area I visited just 5 weeks ago, where I paid tribute to and met the brave men and women of our Australian Defence Force who are training, advising and assisting the Afghan National Defence and Security Forces as part of the NATO-led Resolute Support Mission. I know that many members of this House and this Parliament will have been familiar with this district when they have visited Afghanistan. I can advise the House that all staff of our embassy have been confirmed safe, although, as honourable members will understand, they are very shaken by these events. We do not believe at this stage that any Australians were killed or injured in the attack. But this serves as a sober reminder of the dangers faced by those who represent our nation abroad. We are the second largest non-NATO troop contributing nation in Operation Resolute Support and the overall second largest financial contributor to the sustainment of the Afghan security sector. Now, we know from bitter experience that allowing safe havens for terrorists undermines our safety at home and abroad. Just yesterday, we mourned the tragic death of the 12-year-old Melbourne girl Zainab al-Habia, killed in another terrorist attack in Baghdad while visiting her sick grandfather. The first priority of my government is to keep Australians safe, and that's why we have made a long-term commitment to support Afghanistan's security and stability. Earlier this week, the government announced an increase in our deployment and our support for NATO's Train, Advise and Assist mission in Afghanistan, with the number of our ADF personnel rising to around 300. As honourable members are aware, the largest single element of our deployment to Afghanistan is providing training and the necessary force protection at the Afghan National Army Officer Academy, which I have visited very recently, and I know other honourable members have done too. They're doing vital work for ensuring that the Afghan security forces have the capabilities and the training to defend themselves and to suppress and defeat the terrorists. Now, yesterday's bombing only reinforces our commitment to this important mission and to continuing to support the Afghan National Defence and Security Forces as they continue to build that capability that is essential for Afghanistan to fight and defeat terrorism at its source. Now, the aim of the terrorist, Mr Speaker, is to instil fear and divide communities and cause them to turn on each other. Our message is very clear. Our objective is to ensure that terrorists in the battlefield are targeted and killed. And we have changed the law. My government, with the support of the opposition, have changed the law to ensure that the ADF can target terrorists in the field, whatever they are doing. Whatever they are doing. Our objective is to destroy them in the battlefield. And anyone with the intent to do us harm at home will be identified, monitored, disrupted, arrested and face the full extent of the law. Yeah. Australians will never bow to terror.
Yeah. The Leader of the Opposition on indulgence.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I congratulate the Prime Minister on his words just then, and I want to join with the Prime Minister in condemning this attack and those responsible. And I want to join with the Prime Minister on behalf of the Opposition in offering our heartfelt condolences to the families of the dead, our comfort to the injured and our unwavering support for the people of Afghanistan. Mr Speaker, the Prime Minister has dealt with some of the terrible details of this incident and the terrible toll of human life. I would simply add this. While some injuries have been suffered by foreign workers, including American and German embassy staff, the people murdered by this act of terror were overwhelmingly Afghan citizens and the followers of the Islamic faith. I don't know if they conformed to every single letter and tenet of their religion. Few people of any faith ever do. But I suspect they were very good Muslims, doing their best to be good parents, good citizens, good people, living the normal lives that we all recognise and in this country take for granted, going to the shops, heading to work, taking their children to school. And I want to say that I believe that their Islam was more true, more valuable, more worthwhile than anything that the terrorists claim to believe in. At the beginning of this most holy time in the Islamic faith, this act of terror is a crime against Islam and a crime against humanity. And if we needed proof that the people of Afghanistan are infinitely better and braver than the cowards who brought this criminal bloodshed to their streets, I refer to an iconic image that I hope is the enduring image of this terrible attack. The image to which I refer is the lines of hundreds of people who are queuing to donate blood for those injured in the blast. That is the image which I hope is the enduring image. Mr Speaker, Afghanistan is Australia's longest war. I honour the 41 Australians who made the supreme sacrifice in its green valleys and dry mountains. I honour thousands more of Australian Defence Force personnel and other agencies and civilians who have served in Afghanistan in this longest conflict. And we have a continuing national interest in defeating terrorism in Afghanistan and in helping the people and the government of Afghanistan build a better, safer home for themselves, where girls and boys can go to school, where citizens can live in peace. Labor supports the recent 30-person increase in Australia's contribution to the NATO-led Resolute Support Training Mission in Afghanistan. It takes our total commitment to 300. Admiration for the courage, professionalism and skill of our defence personnel unites this chamber. And the memory that Afghanistan was a training base for some of the Bali bombers also unites this chamber. And so too does our determination to see our personnel return home safely and successfully from this mission. Whatever disagreements might follow in the hour or so to come, we're united in terms of our commitment to the security of Australians, both here and abroad, and when it comes to fighting terrorism, we are all in this together.
I thank the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. As a mark of respect to the deceased and the injured, I ask all to rise in their places. I thank the House.